Get the hell off of me, pig! Get off of me! Get off! I would have done it! I would have gone away with it! I would have gone away.
There were children! There were children in the barn!
It's psychic war, okay? You wouldn't understand! Sacrifices have to be made!
Man, I've been so alone. Despite all these little bugs being here, I've been very lonely, you know? All I want is a friend.
Wake up, Wiz. You got a new roommate.
Oh my god!
Ow! What the hell? Abuse! Abuse! Abuse!
That's what you get.
What do you do?
I may have started a psychic war TikTok, and the kind of broke containment. The demographic I ended up picking up there was not really the original.
Oh, dude,
target.
you better
You know
watch
what?
yourself in the showers.
I'm good to go. Okay, all right. If anyone comes near me, they get the shank. They get the shiv.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna come take it from you. I'm gonna beat you again and take it.
Please don't beat me again. No! Stop! God! You can't trust the
God's not
commentary
here, dude. We're in
community
prison. We're in American prison.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. The one place God doesn't look.
I got a feeling you don't even know what this is.
I have no idea what this is, no.
Right, send your little seat, go on.
So you admit that you have no idea what the psychic war is.
I don't know. It's just the blogs just started appearing on my computer, and I started posting them. That's it. I don't know who wrote them. I have no idea. Well, I'm sorry,
Really?
Aiko. Do you have a problem? Do you have a problem with psychic war? Some issue, some grievance you'd like to hash out here?
No, I am here to try to understand the psychic war from your perspective.
Yeah, get intelligence,
Yes.
dude. Interrogation.
Because when me and Rezi were reading it, a lot of it just
Seemed
looked
like
like a deceitful appeal to populism, potentially.
Ew.
There were things. It was very vague. I saw you say that the steps or the levels went backwards, and level 1 is just says implicit. Why would you start with the next level and not before you even tell anyone what they're doing?
Because if you're level 1, you do
have
the
to-
rest.
Exactly. Level 1 is implicit. If you are level 1, you already know you're level 1. You have
don't
all
need
the
to read
tools
it
you need
so
to
much.
recognize everything else. Yeah.
So you start at level 2?
Most people will start at level 2, yes.
Unless they're clever.
Yeah, smart people start at level 1. Smart people
Okay.
will read the psychic war. And when I say smart people, I mean people who are like attuned.
He doesn't
to the
mean smart
ideas it's
people. He
based
means
on.
like people that watch him.
I mean like crazy, insane people. If you're crazy insane, you'll read psychic war and you'll be like, oh, I recognize these ideas. I understand what he's trying to do, and I'm aware of this in other content. What in the fuck are you doing, Mina?
Lol.
You're insane. Oh my god.
Are you
That was
free?
so-
You cannot be free already, can you? Are you already?
We're a penny-
We're one
penny
pence away from being free.
freedom.
Nobody else tonight.
No donations! No donations!
We're starting
You let
there.
us enjoy the bit we've concocted, okay? I'm gonna start digging.
Oh,
Start,
dude.
set Bambi to start borrowing.
Sorry. Thank you, Mina. That's very kind. That's very amazing. You're completely mental. Sorry, as you were, I could continue asking you questions.
Sorry, yeah. I'm here to be interrogated, okay? It's fine.
Okay, can you describe your psychic war to me? You know,
As
based
in,
off of the doc.
What my psychic war is, or what psychic war is meant to be generally?
Yeah, in general, I guess in general, and then you can
This is
narrow
insane
it
amount of
into
money. Thank you so
yourself.
much. This is insane.
So basically, it's a way
Thank you,
of
Mina. This is fucking
negotiating the
insane.
new
You're-
online
you're
space
insane.
in a
Thank you.
post-truth environment, right? The idea is, if you're outcome-oriented, and that's your focus, then you should only really care about the outcomes. And this attempt to maintain an idea of like a stable truth or stable reality is so impossible as to be essentially a waste of energy now. Like, I do think that it's basically, and to be clear, like, psychic war is only morally justifiable when the conditions demonstrate that everyone's in a different reality and they cannot reconvene. right? If you are hopeful that you have some kind of way to deprogram, MAGA people who believe in a completely different, shadow universe to you, then you shouldn't be doing psychic war. You should be deconverting MAGA people. But if you're a little bit more pessimistic about that, like I am, you'll probably think, okay, well, now that we can't deconvert people, then we have to arrive at good outcomes to avoid, catastrophe, apocalypse, calamity. And so we need to find a new framework of negotiation and debate that works better in a world where we don't share realities. And I tried to come at it from an optimistic perspective where we share values, right? Like the classic example I bring up is the idea of anti-vax. The MAGA line is that vaccines are dangerous and hurting people. But, 50 years ago they were, right? Like the Qatar incident with the polio vaccine, like this is a real thing that happened. So it's only it's only based on probability that this didn't happen in this timeline, but they believe it did. So why not, instead of trying to dispute reality with them, why not use that, leverage their impetus to criticize Big Pharma, right? And to impose regulation or to break up the big corporations, to take the thing they're reacting to that is real and turn it into good, positive outcomes using their own frame of analysis. That's psychic war.
So basically, you are working with them in their language, at their level, trying to find a common ground in your conversation and lead them towards a better outcome.
Yeah, you accept the truth of their position, right? Like now, there is part of this that is a little bit anti-liberal because one of the biggest complaints that they have are lots of things about liberalism. But then a lot of leftists have those same complaints about liberalism, right? And while the right is leveraging that to do heinous shit and arrive at horrible outcomes, we're trying to arrive at, better outcomes. So why not leverage the, negative relationship they have with liberalism to arrive at better results?
So this is
basically
like
Dick
strictly
Fuentes,
for MAGA type people, like engaging with.
No, because you pivot to whatever they are, right?
Yeah. So if you were doing this with a liberal, you would just do regular DGG style liberal blood sports debating, right? Because they respect facts and logic, so you use facts and logic, right? For an audience that doesn't respect facts and logic, you have to abandon it entirely, stop trying to impose your structure on them, and instead use their structure to help improve the outcomes that they will generate with their supported policies or their supported actions.
So, would you? I guess I'm trying to remember the document too. Wait, I have it on my phone
that's okay.
Still.
Jesus. You should not be carrying
have on
that
your
around
phone?
in your pocket.
Wow.
That'll do
I
damage.
do.
Yeah, that's not good. It's like a microwave.
I saw that you went down a member in level ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what's up? Well, the level ones change.
Should you be more concerned about the fact that when you read the blog, it gained a member?
No, I'm happy for there to be members. I just saw that it said 8, 9, and then 8 again.
Yeah, it changes.
It does someone fail out? Like if they don't uphold the quality of level
No,
one
it's not like
they-
that. It's more like, because the first level is like a degree of understanding, right? It's like if you understand it, it's implicit, right? But if it's no longer implicit to you, and it's clear you demonstrate that you don't understand it, then
Oh.
Yeah.
So then you get kicked out of level 1 until you.
Well, I want to be clear. There is no. Here's the thing about level 1, right? Like there is no.
I think that's
clubhouse,
you gotta specify specifically. Level 1s are not psychic warriors.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. Level 1s are not psychic warriors. They are two distinct categories that are mutually exclusive.
Okay, so what does level 1 implicit mean exactly?
It means that if you read the whole document and you have the foundation of understanding you already have a foundation of understanding regardless of psychic war, you will recognize themes and ideas and processes in the document. You will probably understand what the document is trying to do on a deeper level, and you will understand that implicitly. And part of that understanding includes not running around calling yourself a level 1, because there are things about being a level 1 that you recognize that would demonstrate that would be negative utility to do that. So no one who is level 1
Because you'd be exposing yourself.
You'd be. I don't know if it's. Well, I mean, there are many
you'd be
different
betraying
reasons why
the
that could be
doctrine,
the
right?
case. You would be acting against You would be acting against a thing that you already agree with. So it's almost like it's a self filter, right? Like you're basically not going to reveal anything about level 1 if you are a level 1, which means that anyone describing what level 1 is not a level 1 essentially.
Oh. Okay.
Because no level 1 would ever describe it because they understand the utility in it being implicit.
This sounds like an introduction to Emperor's New Clothes type thing. Where
we prefer Emperor's
you
New
have
Groove.
to, in order to be in order to get it, you have to not explain at all. You have to not engage with it.
If you can prove you understand it, you're not a level 1.
Yeah, so level 1s will probably recognize each other, but will not say explicitly that anyone's
the only way you
1.
can signal they actually know is the secret handshake, but you only get that when you're deep in the cult. I mean,
yeah. No, so like there is no. So what I'm saying is there is no community of level 1s who are talking to each other all the time, right? Like they may even be amongst you. Okay, they are walking amongst you. They are hiding in regular
may even
flesh.
be you.
And they are operating in the background. They could even be you, yeah.
Would I know,
they're
though?
not meeting up or anything. Would you know? Well, if you were a level 1, you would know that you are probably a level 1. Right, so if you yourself know that you're a level 1, then you're probably a level 1.
Would it be confirmed, though?
If you know. No, it would never be confirmed, that's the thing. So, like, if anyone were ever to ask, am I a level 1? The answer would always be no. Because in asking that,
until the moment that you're activated, but you'll get that email later.
It's basically an internal filtering mechanism, right? The idea is that like you understand. It's also not meant to be an aspirational thing. The goal is not to move up. It's like these are just different groups of people with different values in the overall idea, right? Like level 1s are probably going to be the people who understand things more. They're not necessarily going to be the operators, the people like executing the psychic warriors.
Yeah, maybe that's where you went wrong. The fact that you numbered them.
Yeah, you gotta distinguish them somehow.
Yeah, but maybe numbers was a bad way to distinguish them.
Well, I'm such a big fan of Brittany Simon that I wanted to...
Because everyone thinks 2's better than 1, dude.
That's literally a good... That's literally
it's
a good
double.
thing. It's good that... It's good that there isn't like a status component to it. There shouldn't be a status component to it.
No, it is. There is a status component to it because you literally said level 1 is better. Level 1 means you get it. You know. You're in on
it. Well, yeah, understanding doesn't make you better. It's just understanding. It's neutral, right? And again, a level 1 would probably understand that.
Listen, in the psychic war, when you call something a psychic war and it's about thinking and engaging, then understanding knowledge is everything.
So understanding is a neutral thing, right? Like if you look at the best, like the highest skilled capitalists in the world. Oh, actually, Mark Milley is a great example of this, right? Remember that general,
the comic book writer?
I think his name's Mark Milley. He's the general who kept getting in fights with Trump in his first term. He was like giving some kind of testimony in court. And he said something like, of course I've read Marx, of course I've read Mao, I need to like understand the texts of my enemy, I need to understand this, right? He is an understander, he probably understands socialist theory and rhetoric at a very, very deep level, but he is working against it, right? So what you end up doing ideologically doesn't necessarily relate to what you understand. The understanding is a neutral thing, it's essentially the like, you know, the ideological weaponry, and then what you do with weapons is always going to define the morality of it. So just because you understand something, I wouldn't say you're better or worse.
So what you're saying is guns don't kill people. People kill people with guns.
But with ideology. Sorry, you were saying, Aiko? Before we interrupted to do a hack fraud bit.
Drugs? How'd you get that in prison?
Drugs, yeah.
You got a hookup?
What? That's all they do in prison.
Drugs? Did someone say drugs? I think do you have guns?
Yeah.
Do you have drugs? Empty your pockets right now. Right now. Where are your hands? Take your hands out of your pockets.
I'm clean. These are my hands. I've only got nubs. Ah! That's my shell. I'm not hiding anything in there. You can't. Ow! You can't take my shell off. It's part of me.
You're still standing, so clearly you haven't been beaten hard enough.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Jesus Christ!
If I was you, dude, I'd fall over right now.
Okay,
Do it, quick! There you go. He's gonna make it, guys. He's gonna make it in prison.
Ow! I've been tortured. Ow!
You
But
fall
yeah,
over
I think
weird, dude.
what? I just I tumble. I tumble like
Ew,
like a
you
what?
flew there.
Like what? That's my dive. So yeah, like the point is that, look, I'm not saying I genuinely don't like.
Dude, if the
value level
CIA
ones
abducted
more.
this guy and interviewed him and like interrogated him, dude, it'd be over for him. Be over. The whole terrorist cell will go down.
I mean, the terrorist cell's already gone down.
He's a fucking
Aiko literally
snitch.
stopped me from. I nearly ascended everyone into the psychic plane where they could do untold mimetic damage. They would just become Twitter entities divorced from their bodies.
You're fucking snitch, dude. I'm remembering that.
Well, I mean, I am trying to pin all of this on you. That is true.
Huh?
Didn't you say that the psychic war is completely in the non-physical plane, non-material plane whatsoever?
I think I remember you having a big objection to that, right? You think that the two should be fused together.
I mean, I think they are fused together, and I think that the idea of a separate online world and offline world is increasingly disintegrating.
But I think you'd be a dick if you did psychic war at like the family dinner table. You know?
Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah.
I mean,
it's very rare in real life that you like encounter a fucking chat of like fucking Discord people, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think I think you do have a fair. But Aiko, I have to be like, if you don't mind me asking, you can tell me to fuck off. Do you have like a job other than streaming?
I do streaming mostly.
And she's a prison guard.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm a prison guard.
Oh god, gig economy. You're on that. You're you're a Deliveroo now. Does prison service?
Yes.
Uber prisons. Yeah.
Yes, Uber prisons.
TaskRabbit prison officer.
Yeah, I think for no offense, but for someone like you, I think the two has fused. But for most people who have like regular jobs in the real world and that's their kind of primary thing, and then they just engage online. Like don't get me wrong, I think online now has a massive influence on offline culture. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't be trying to instigate a psychic war where you influence people online, right? Only if the two are heavily influencing each other does it make sense to try to influence one to arrive at offline conclusions. But it is also true that if you've got a regular job and a regular life and a regular friends and, you know, a family, partners, whatever else, right? You have a much stronger ego base that you can rely on to do psychic war without collapsing under the pressure. You know, I've had some feedback that, like, you know, psychic war is too hard to execute. It's too tough on your ego. You need to like do things to take care of yourself. You need to protect yourself online. And my answer to that would be, you probably shouldn't be doing it then, right? Like, you should probably be in a position where you've got enough offline sources of support that when you do any kind of activism, whether it's online or offline, you are supported in other ways in your life and strong enough to deal with the hardships you might run into. No, well, I mean,
is there any results to look at? Have you had any tangible results from psychic war? Sorry, I'm you now.
No,
Aiko.
it's very lightweight. I wouldn't call it activism yet. I mean, again, like
So what was the purpose then if there's been no outcomes so far?
I hope that there will be outcomes, right? Like, it's just another addition to the pot of theory. That's it.
And what would an outcome look like to you? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
What would the outcomes look like? Huh? What are you expecting?
Give an example of a psychic war being waged?
I'm trying to get a reduced sentence.
To do.
Yeah, he's working with the cops as per usual. So, I mean, like, here's a good example, right? I think that the sort of damage that Destiny has taken has really shaken the faith in liberalism for a lot of those kind of like DGG liberals. I think they're looking for like a new playbook for how to engage. One of the reasons that I started writing this is because I saw the way that Destiny was engaging with people on Twitter. You know, in those like kind of Twitter spaces where like he was just going through MAGA hat after MAGA hat, and like all he could really do was like destroy them in like a status battle that impressed his base and made the liberals like all cackle and laugh and, you know, say, "Ha, MAGA, look, they're not even in reality. They're not even in reality." And then they would like walk past it, and I was every time I saw that I was like, nothing happened here. You did nothing. You literally just like mogged them online, status signal to your base. You like made, you know, some mother of three cry online because she doesn't know anything of the facts or whatever. Of course she doesn't. She's living in a completely alternate reality. How do you reach these people? Clearly this mode of like facts and logic and studies and research and policy is not going to work to reach the majority of people. Now the Democratic electorate majority of people in America, since you've elected Trump a second time. Right, like this is the majority. Unless you have a bullet for every single one of them, you have to find a way to convince them and change the way that they're engaging with things. And it probably has to come from the liberals. So my ideal outcome would be that enough liberals start looking at this as a alternative way of engaging with people, of being more understanding, of being less rooted in credentialism and elitism and status signaling, and instead actually trying to reach people in a more genuine way that appeals to them directly rather than just, making the Sam Cedars and the fucking Dave Pacmans of the world, giggle at how stupid their enemy is now.
Yeah. I guess my issue with the way that it looks like it's presented in your document is that it's in a disingenuous form. Like you're not actually engaging with them as a person. You're just like humoring them. Like you're not being a person. Like you're not talking to them as a person.
I think
all
the
for, like,
argument to
debate
counter that is like, if you understand it, you wouldn't be like a dick about it,
Yeah.
It requires people not to be a dick.
There's one piece to this which I think, and I'm hesitant to say it out loud, but I think there is something.
Secrets?
I think there's a piece that this is an exclusive, okay? All right, real
Oh my
exclusive
God.
here, only for Aiko.
Oh my God, he's making a deal.
Aiko. Everyone cover your ears except Aiko, okay? So look, I'll level with you, okay? Secretly, Aiko, secretly. I'm gonna whisper this in your ear so no one can hear it, okay? All right.
Okay.
I'm not a liberal. I don't like liberalism.
Oh my God.
What are you?
I'm not a big fan. I think capitalism has probably overstayed its welcome, and I don't like power structures that people haven't agreed to. I don't like dominance that isn't agreed to.
Wait.
That's it. It's
that
simple.
Whoa, wait, right? You're an anarchist?
No, how dare you? Shut up, Wiz. Shut up.
Whoa.
I would never. Cringe.
So
Cringe
what
gay Twitter
are
behavior.
you then?
So well, I just said I think capitalism doesn't work super well. I'm not a big fan of power structures.
That's what you aren't.
Okay.
So what are you?
Yeah.
Labeling what I am is in opposition to the worst excesses of capitalism.
What's the answer then? Gay?
Structures.
No, we're not asking what you're opposed to. What are you for?
You're asking. Well, I'm for
He's being
an
slippery.
alternative economic model.
You might have to beat him.
I'm for consensual hierarchies.
Beat the truth out of him.
You should. Ah!
Yeah.
Ow! Stop! I'll talk. So one of the reasons that this looks a little bit shady is because I disagree with the fundamental liberal process of like credentialism, right? The idea of appealing to the scientific method that has so many problems, the idea of appealing to credentialed lawyers and doctors and policy wonks and economists. Like I look at that structure overall as something that has so many flaws that it's probably just going to continue creating new and new problems and contradictions that worse groups like fascists will pop up and abuse. So that's kind of why I think a lot of liberals look at it and they go, oh, that's really, really spooky. It's because I am basically saying, yeah, like the source of truth that you've been relying on, I deny that is a single and objective source of truth. Liberalism likes to pretend that there is one objective truth and it is the thing that you arrive at rationally, scientifically. My argument would basically be the truth of MAGA is valid. They have some valid truths. They may not be articulate, they may not be based in fact, but they are reacting to something real. And if you treat it like they're reacting to something real, if you validate their reaction, then you can maybe move them to better positions, right? That's basically psychic war in a nutshell. And so when you think of it like that, it makes it
seems quite
easier
boring
for people to understand. Yeah, it is quite boring actually. Yeah, this is what. Sorry, Wiz. Yes, this is a.
It seems like super boring, actually, dude.
It's a boring, important, and nuanced.
Have you ever thought about writing in a way that seems more interesting and fun?
That's a good idea. What if? Hear me out. Whoa!
No, already that's too far. Ah!
What if What if we added horrible, spooky psychic war shit to it so that it's more interesting for people to
Okay,
Oh my
I'm on board.
god.
Wow!
That's
See?
terrifying.
I'm on board.
What? It's my... See? He's in! It worked! And that is psychic war. Okay, alright, it's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Oh god! Sorry.
I like that.
That was for a much more
Yeah,
racist episode.
you're sticking out, dude. You're all excited.
Sorry. I need to conform. There we go. Try to wrap the turban around my brain.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, that's it.
I still don't really. So is it basically like you're presenting something that people can like buy into, like an alternate form of DGG, like kind of ideology? Like
Yeah,
people
it's
need to like
basically
work
teaching
it out
people
in
to
their
be normal,
mind,
dude.
like play with
Yeah.
it, like a fidget spinner for their ideology.
Daddy's dead.
Oh, that's
Daddy's
pretty- that's
dead.
pretty
They
close.
need guidance. Come here, baby. That's it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. This is pretty much
Like-
it.
Suck
Yeah,
from
it's
the
just
pond
how do we
teat.
how do we reformat all of the brain broken DGGers into something that's actually
Yeah.
useful for discourse instead of just mogging people and like playing status games around who knows the most research or who's read the most Wikipedia or who has the most facts and logic.
We
and
can't.
rational
We
debate.
won't hurt you like Daddy has. You know?
Right. So it's like you're dilating the whole of the people who are like terminally DGG, and like that's the only kind of community they really engage with, and then the only style that they really
Liberals-
engage with.
Liberals more broadly, but DGG is a good sort of DGG exemplifies the kind of people that we're after, right? The people who have over relied on facts and logic.
Yeah, and we're after them. Remember to
And
point that out.
dunking.
Yes. And dunking? Yes, yeah, we're anti-dunking. Like the ideal psychic war, kind of like event process, whatever, should be would be a situation, for example, where you don't gain any status. If anything, you concede status or you offer people, emotional catharsis or emotional satisfaction, and they walk away thinking the correct things, but thinking that they came up with it, right? I've had lots of conversations like that where forget politics, right? Like even in like business, if you make someone think that something was their idea, they're going to fight for it in a way that they wouldn't if they thought that you convinced them, right? So it's kind of better to let people arrive at conclusions themselves. You give them the puzzle pieces. Hell, if you form the opposition, right? If you argue their case for them in a way that makes them start to think, maybe I should argue against this guy because he doesn't actually represent me, and then they arrive at the correct conclusion, that is as good as anything else. You should be outcome oriented. It shouldn't just be about dunks. What happens when it's all about dunks? You end up like Vosh, you end up like Destiny, you end up like Hassan. You end up with these
Perverts.
people who are ultimately only interested, perverts, but also in people who are only interested in protecting their status. They're unwilling to step out of the bounds because ultimately all they care about is maintaining status. Why are your chat messages getting shadow banned? Mina, I have to assume you're
Yes.
saying some insane violent shit, and YouTube itself is stopping us from seeing it for our mental health and sanity. We do not remove your messages. You are probably scaring the algorithm, and I'm not surprised.
That's
You
only 'cause
threatened
you're
Wiz with a
powerful.
brick the other day.
That's not true.
She threatened to cave your skull in with a stone, dude.
No,
Okay,
she's
I wonder
giving
why her
it to me.
messages- like, that's not... I'm sorry. She was giving it to
There
you
was a
as offering
hand
as well,
handing
that's
it.
not present.
It wasn't like that.
Jesus.
So
So
the
that makes-
psychic war is a presentation for people who are like terminally debate perverts.
Yeah, I mean, I do have other articles that expand on some of the ideas.
Yeah, but
that
they're not
it
worth
goes
the
around,
read,
which go in
honestly.
More depth. But no one's going to read those. Only the theory nerds are going to read the other articles. So
Yeah,
just
they
that
won't even read that
manifesto,
because it's
yes.
badly written.
The point of
Okay.
a manifesto is
It's
just
very confusing. It was a
That's
lot
confusing.
of. But you know what? Like I said, I feel like for each paragraph, like it could have been a sentence, but
Wait,
giving
which
people-
article? The
You
psychic.
look-
one?
the psychic war one, dude.
The
Where
only
are
one
you?
that I read. That's the only one that we read.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is okay, so the reason why it is so verbose is for those people to have something to play with, to
Oh,
do
no, that's
thought
because I'm
experiments
schizophrenic.
with.
That's a limitation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
I was
guys.
thinking something to for them to puzzle over, to really
I hope that works, but no, I'm mentally ill.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
It would be great if that was an outcome, but no, I have severe problems. Whee!
Yeah,
If
you
read
can't
my
talk
articles, you'll
short in real
understand
life
this is
either.
yeah.
If it was up to me, if I wrote that monologue, I'd have it done in 3 sentences.
But you know what? I have actually, Aiko, I've taken your feedback already, and in fact, my latest article, I write much simpler. Article is much simpler. I wrote an article on signaling and counter signaling, and it is
that sounds boring. Is it got a good title?
Way straighter. It's got a decent title, I think.
What's the title?
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Sure.
Then.
I think this is like these are meant to be like the sort of idiot-proof little kind of like snippets of
Whoa,
things
that's
I can refer
rude.
back to later.
You gonna let him say that
I don't
to
think
you?
Aiko's an idiot. To be clear, I think Aiko had a pretty good understanding of psychic war. Like, one thing I appreciated about Aiko reading that is she no, ow, stop! I'm complimenting
Call her an idiot?
Ow, no, I didn't call her an idiot. I was complimenting. Stop it! Ow!
Yeah, that's what I thought, dude. You forget your place, man.
I was saying that
there's a firm hierarchy here, and you completely forgot it.
Yeah,
you know what's idiot-proof?
Right. Sorry.
Get out of this cage, dude.
I can't get out of this cage. Yeah. I mean, the door is still wide open, but I worry if I make a run for it, Aiko is going to jam that baton.
Well, what I never understood is the fact that it looks like we just got a window that slides upwards.
Yeah. Wait, we could just hop out.
It's
if only someone donated 1 penny.
It's glued? Oh,
it's glued. It's painted over. Yeah, we're not getting through that.
If someone gives a penny, then there will be some glue remover.
Yeah, I'll slime some solvent on it.
Oh
but yeah, no,
God.
when Aiko, when you read this, you pretty much understood like what the thing was encouraging. I think you just had valid disagreements, ideological disagreements on, you know, the idea of being less factual, less credentialed, kind of giving up on truth as a key form, and that's fair enough.
Or not even like factual. It's not even about like, because I don't have a lot of use for people that like going with broad statistics and percentages and whatever.
The quants.
Yeah,
that's goddamn quants. Sorry,
I don't have any use for that. I didn't watch anything YouTube or Twitch or whatever until I started streaming when I was 34. So I was complete normie, but I grew up with fundamentalist Christians. So I'm used to having those kinds of conversations where it's like, if you want to have a conversation go anywhere, you can't like you can't say certain like trigger words or let them think that you are going in a direction. You have to speak very specifically, like you're walking around like bear traps. So that they can't like do like you said this, well here's my trump card, and then it's over. So
I mean, I imagine you had to recontextualize a lot of arguments into like Christianity, for example.
Yeah, you have to like learn how to speak their language and your language. I mean, I grew up in their language, and MAGA is a lot of offshoot of that kind of stuff. So, but I think it's also if you are just like kind of humoring people in a disingenuous way, then they can feel it.
I totally agree. And sorry, Karen.
No, go ahead.
Well, I totally agree, which is why, really, and I think I try. Now, here's the problem: we're fighting against so much fucking resistance, especially with the sort of DGG style, you know, effect on Twitch poll, that I think most people will read the document and think it's meant to be disingenuous. If you actually read it, like, it is. Yeah, I mean,
the fact it's written by a guy called Smugbug is probably the biggest.
Probably doesn't help, yeah, but I mean, you know, that's always. Well, but this is the thing, right? Like, I literally was a, you know, blood sports debate bro in Twitch poll for a year.
No, he wasn't.
I did all the stuff. You know, I did the fucking quanting, and
it sucked.
It sucked. It's garbage.
It sucked. It was bad. I was like, let's be a fucking cartoon.
Well, I was a cartoon already, but sure.
Nah, but you were like a stolen one or something.
Shut up. Shh. The lawyers are still after me. Okay, that's not real. But yeah, if you read the actual document, you'll. I think it's kind of easy to understand that it is very caring and understanding of the people that you are meant to be targeting, right? The groups that you're supposed to be speaking to. You're not meant to be disingenuous. You're meant to actually fucking listen to them. You're meant to care about their issues. You're meant to validate their feelings about the world, because their feelings are real, even if they are not articulate. And you wouldn't expect the average liberal to be super articulate. So why would you expect the average opposition member to be articulate? You have to make sure that you can actually, you know, like see their point of view, appreciate them for the human that they are, and find ways to use your shared value system. Because nearly everyone
knowledge
in America has
bogging
the
is
same
useless.
values.
It's useless.
I mean, they don't.
It's counterproductive. Well, here's the thing, and this is where we might disagree. I think that nearly everyone, and when I say nearly everyone, I mean like the middle 80%, have pretty much the same value set. It's just that they've been warped into different realities. So again, let's take vaccinations for example. If you found out that Pfizer,
you always go to demonetize the fucking video, don't you?
It's because it is the most relevant, right? It's the most useful example. It's the clearest example. If Pfizer did actually have a vaccine that was dangerous, Aiko, I'm sure you would be at the front of the queue saying, we have to make sure that this is better regulated. We have to not have a mandate of an actually dangerous vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you have the same values, it's just that you live in different realities. They live in a reality that has triggered a value that hasn't been triggered on your side because you don't believe the thing that would trigger it has happened. So same value set, different realities. So we're focusing on the values, not the reality. Most liberals, I think, overblow the importance of reality.
I mean, but when you say something like that, it makes it sound like you are moving away from reality, because we're not moving away from reality. We're just not forcing it down anyone's throat.
I mean,
he's the one that said reality.
When I say shared reality, I'm referring to like the liberal objectivist view of like, you know, rational lawyers, politicians. So, well, sorry.
He makes up terms. He makes up terms all the time.
Objectivist is a term. Sorry.
Ayn Rand.
Sorry, no. I meant rationalist, right? Like people who are like really fixate on like logical forms, on, you know, statistics and metrics, economics. Like the people who use these massive structures to justify all of their behaviors. Right? Like those are the kinds of, that's the reality that I want to move away from. And if we look at America, that is the reality that America has been living the last at least, you know, 20 years, really longer, of just accepting that like certain percentages of GDP and unemployment are all really, really important factors to hit. That certain levels of inflation are really important to hit, right? Like there are all these like metrics that define the decision space, the possibility space for politicians to operate in, and they completely deny alternative narratives. I'd rather open up the space for alternative narratives than just continue doing... Like, it's crazy that all the economists in the world are basically doing the same thing, which is either increasing or decreasing interest rates. There are so many other things you could do for, like, fiscal or monetary policy, but all they do is control interest rates. They think you can control an entire economy from one number. This is, like, metrics oblivion. This is a huge, huge, huge waste of effort and resources focused just on the idea that these numbers are so powerful. Well, yeah, obviously.
So, I guess, because I feel like you're overcomplicating something that's so either so simple, or I still don't get, like, there's something I'm missing.
I'm fairly confident you understand it, but what do you think you might be missing?
Like, so is this like a case by case, person by person basis? Like, what are you trying to engage with someone who disagrees with you about something that's like, and that they're fundamentally wrong about, and you're leading them towards a conclusion that you think is like the best possible one with that person, like, to come to?
Yeah, it should be fairly flexible, right? Again, the idea is that you will be focusing on what their worldview is based in, right? If they're a liberal, then you're probably going to be having a liberal argument with them. If they're right-wing, you'll probably be having a right-wing argument with them. If they're left-wing, you'll probably be having a socialist argument with them, right?
I mean, I think that
it's their frame.
Yeah, but I think it's also important to make sure you understand their frame, and like you establish it as you go along in the conversation, instead of like presuming anything. Like, if you think
No. That's really important. Yeah. You're totally right. Yeah, no, I fully agree. You should never, well, this is a really important thing. You should never go into any situation assuming you know anything about the other person, right? Which is, again, like an important tenet of psychic war, is the idea of making sure you actually understand the person that you're speaking to, right? Let them guide you through their reality. Even if you share values, let them guide you through their shadow realm, and then they will trust you. You can't just make assumptions based on the signals that they've emitted on what they actually care about, right? This is why
it's a very advanced way to say don't be a fucking weirdo when speaking to weirdos.
Well, yeah, but this is a problem, right? Like, the majority now do the thing that we're both criticizing, right? You look at DGG, what do they have? Their fucking gay
video
constellation
games
thing. Or if I know one belief of theirs, I know 7 beliefs of theirs. I can assume all of these other things because they're in a constellation. I'm gonna write a philosophy paper about it.
That they say?
That's Destiny literally has this like constellation theory where he's like, oh if I know they're anti-vax,
he's in his
then I know
mind
these other 8
palace.
things about them. Like, so.
Yeah, no, now that all the things that have come to pass I'm like, wow, we were so, even, those of us who were never friends with or like on having a positive relationship with Destiny, we still were all brainwashed into like joining this premise of his, this like little world that he created in which these are how things operate, because he basically started the space. And I used to describe it as like the worldview that we have in these like Twitch poll spaces. At the time, it's hard for me to remember, but for a time I had this thing where I described it like, okay, like the space is like a tarp and we are all standing on a tarp together, right? And underneath the tarp is grass. So thank you for sorry, I got a donut.
You're right, nobody's touching grass. You're so right.
Yeah, well, but it goes on. Okay, so all of the discourse, the cursed discourse and whatnot, it's like people are on the tarp and they are putting urine and feces out of their bodies, and they're just all their cursed discourse.
We're back in prison. We're back in prison.
Yeah, sorry, Wiz, can you turn around? Can you just mark the thing that says American talks about shit and piss? Could you
talk about shit and piss every fucking stream, dude.
Dude, I swear to God, Americans can't help themselves. Sorry, Aiko, please continue.
But yeah, so there's all this urine and feces everywhere on the tarp, right? And so my hope had been that if we clear up all of this like bullshit, if we communicate, if we can get through to people, whatever, we can work through the cursed discourses, clean up the urine and feces, and then we can remove the tarp and live on grass. But then it overflowed, and then the urine and feces was on the grass, and then I built a treehouse. And so so
you have a tree that's using shit and piss as nutrients.
Fertilizer, dude. That's just normal.
I mean, actually, yeah. That's just fertilizer.
That's beautiful. That's so pretty.
Yeah, I agree.
But what I'm saying is that this entire false this false premise that we all engage in, where like everyone was like, oh, what really matters is like optics, and all the discourse panels were about like optics policing movements.
Oh God,
yeah, and it was just like, oh, well, if you say this, and right wingers are gonna think this and that or whatever.
Yeah, that's
and so most of the dominant like voices would be just basically telling other people to like, shut up, you're too weird. Shut up. You can't advocate for yourself because I don't like how you look. We need to find someone better to be speaking for you. So yeah, and then, so now
that conclusion chose the worst person.
Literally, like
it literally did.
Yeah, it literally, because ultimately all it selected for was people who were best at playing the status game, right? If you got on a stream with someone who won status and who lost status in that interaction, the person who wins goes up the leaderboard until they end up at the top, and you end up with Hassan, Vosh, and Destiny. 3 people who were basically immune to all criticism until, now Destiny, I guess, is finally, but even then he hasn't really taken a significant hit.
Yeah, he's fine, bro. Nothing's happened to him.
Yeah, financially he'll be fine. Like, influence-wise, he's diminished a little bit. He's been pushed online. He's probably going to end up in the same fortress situation.
I've said this before. He has received 0 negative consequences.
Yeah, basically nothing. Lost his friends, but those friends were only online, kind of only related to his online project anyway. So
Well,
being
you
at the
still got
top is as
Kyla.
lonely as being at the bottom. That's true, yeah. But does anyone really want her as a friend?
With friends like those, huh?
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, I think that I've been waiting. I've been like ever since I entered this general space, I've been like watching, waiting. Twitch and YouTube were completely separate from each other. And then when I saw like people moving towards each other, when Ethan and Hassan started to show, we know how that turned out. But when people were starting to come together, I was like, yes,
I'll believe it when I see it.
More
Mina.
of a diversity of voices and opinions, and more like medium-sized content creators started.
More puppets.
Yes, exactly. But like more people that could be heard, and it. I think basically right now, what's happening, we have all of these. We're not used to. Sorry, hold on. I got stoned right before this.
Nice.
Ahem.
That's the only way to engage in psychic war. You can't do it sober.
So, what was I saying?
Something profound? Something profound, I think.
Little babies are coming up. Little babies are growing. From all the common piss and shit.
Nothing about the space has improved, I don't think.
Well, no, I think
It's like again worse.
I've
Everyone
just
moved back
been
to Twitch
biding my
now.
time. What'd you say?
It's only gonna get worse. The YouTube ecosystem's gonna die. Everyone's gonna have to either move to Kick or Twitch again.
We went to YouTube. There was too much rape. Now we have to go back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on both right now, so.
Whoa!
Checkmate.
Oh my god.
She was way ahead of us. She's always been ahead of us.
No.
They fucked us. They fucked us.
Basically, what I'm saying. So when I was a child, there was no internet. Okay, you had to go to the library, and then even then, you probably won't know. You would wonder things and just never know. And that's just it. People used to know that they didn't know.
What doth lie?
Kind of, right? Now, we think that we can know everything, and we just have to get to a point. Everyone's screaming, and most people have no idea what they're talking about, and it's just noise. But I think, we'll readjust to realizing we don't know anything again until we actually. I don't know.
So in a situation, I think you're right, but I think in a situation where we've decided, okay, this whole structure that we were relying on doesn't work in the same way, you can apply this more broadly to liberalism losing to Trump again, right? Like clearly something about this structure has not worked. Then probably what we need to do is go back into a phase of actually like understanding and speaking to people and trying to see where they're coming from. Clearly MAG is winning, right? They're winning. They're literally winning. We should probably listen to the winners about what they're doing different that's being ignored by the mainstream, by the status quo. I mean, and figure out.
Isn't it just being racist, dude?
It's not. I truly don't believe it is. I think that's too pessimistic. Like racism, obviously racism is a real problem, but I do think that you can look there. There's one doomer perspective, which is that, white middle class dudes have been losing cultural status. That is a real thing that's happened, if only because they had so much of it in the past. They have when I say legitimate, I don't mean morally justifiable, I mean actual concern that their status is diminishing compared to other people, and they view it as a zero-sum game. But yeah. I think one thing that you can learn by looking at
it's how they weaved it into their huge big mechanism that's the impressive part.
Yeah, but I think
one cohesive. They've discovered fucking universal USBs, but for politics and entertainment. It's all compatible.
Let's
all their framework is compatible. What? All their devices, all their speakers, all their ideology is compatible with one another, right? But if you look at the left, it's not the case.
I don't agree.
Think so.
I think there's lots of incompatibilities in the right. Like if you look at the incompatibility between like Trump and Elon Musk, that's inherent, right? Look at the H1
But
visa
that
thing.
USB still plugs into the port. They'll still work together.
Well, that's because this really it hasn't had time to like really come to fruition. Like there's always been something that's been like stopping it from being like wholly obvious who is influencing, like who's driving the car. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
right now, I think like we are seeing like the empowerment of MAGA and not just the movement. Like I think that when people are, you can have that same like taking the power back from the liberals or whatever the fuck is going on with them. Once they actually have to implement whatever they want now that they're able to, that's when I think the cracks are going to show.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people don't want there to not be able to have abortions. Like there are a lot of people who like bought into the message for very different reasons, and they're going to see how incompatible
But
they are.
I think my point is more the fact that they're more willing to work together, you know?
I think your point is wrong, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
And
You don't think they're more likely to work together?
Well, I think the point
You think Bill Gates and Biden are making, you know, BB technologies?
Oh, wait, Bill Gates and Biden literally worked incredibly closely. Yes, liberals have always worked very well with the kind of oligarch like Bill Gates. Yeah, more closely, in fact.
Not on the fucking government level, you idiot.
Yes, at the government level, you idiot.
Go on, then.
You don't know anything.
What's the example?
Do you remember the fight between Elon Musk and Sam Hyde? You were there. We looked at it together. That was an internal right-wing conflict. Elon Musk versus Sam Hyde. Explain that one to me.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not fucking talking about fucking entertainment pundits.
It's not about entertainment pundits. There is a huge... The H-1B visa was a genuine schism between Trump's base and Elon Musk's fucking tech bro base. You understand that, right? No, you don't understand that. Of course you don't. If you had read my article, you would understand this. But unfortunately, you are uneducated, very, very poorly
Well, I'm
read,
just saying, the right's willing to give love a chance.
That's
yes,
true.
but they haven't had to like move out of the honeymoon stage yet.
Yeah, well, I'm not I'm not giving an evaluation of success metrics.
What I'm saying is we just haven't gotten to that point yet, where I think like they will have to live together. They'll have to share a bathroom. You know, they'll have to be like married. You know, they won't be able to like just capitalize on the style, the message. They'll have to like deliver. And then when these things are implemented, then the people are actually affected and can see like a direct correlation, like, oh, actually, this isn't what they said.
I wanted the Mexicans deported in this way, not that way.
Yeah, but also like, oh, when we deport all these people, then there will be jobs, there will be this or that. But if you see something collapsing as a direct result, like we haven't had a connection between
like maybe it's more the case maybe the USB metaphor is clumsy. Maybe it's more the case of they're willing to do whatever it takes. You know?
Say it ain't so.
What?
Yeah, I think that's that. No,
what, Smug? Huh? You ever owned a mistake, idiot guy? Stupid guy?
No, obviously not. Why would
Dumb
I,
guy?
why would I ever
that's why you're in prison, dude.
No,
I surrendered myself to the law.
yeah. You turned yourself in immediately. As soon as you heard that you were gonna have to go back on stream with me, you were like, I'd rather be in prison. Get me away from this guy. I'm done. I'm over. This is it. No, it's I think it's interesting that you say that, Aiko. Not to plug my blog, but I did also just write an article on
this guy.
I'm sorry, but like, but this is the thing, right? Like, I think this is the reason I wanted to write a bunch of stuff about this, is because
just slam it in ChatGPT and they'll actually summarize the article for you. Don't worry, guys.
Probably, yeah. You could probably get it to translate it from cringe into based. But yeah, I think that there is a resolution path that's already been created to fuse together like the Elon Musk style new money and the Trump style American old money, you know, real estate moguls, robber baron style groups. I think that's already being fused together via JD Vance. There's a whole like new political theory being put together in America called aristopopulism that basically fuses together this like new kind of elite with you know, both capital from like kind of cloud capital, you know, Amazon, Facebook, you know, Twitter, and old capital like, you know, Trump, real estate, regular capitalism.
Right.
Your obsession with DGG is making you look retarded. Maybe you should express an idea instead of just...
Hey, you're not supposed to read comments when we got a guest on, dude.
Sorry, that was super rude. I was objectifying you there, Aiko. That's my bad. Please continue.
No, that's fine. I mean, this hybrid. So yeah, so those are like the two main interests, right?
Sorry, I only read the last of Queen Bee's messages, but they did actually
Stop
write
it!
out
Stop
a
it,
bunch of
dude!
shit. I'm being
You're
nice. I'm being
professional,
nice
dude.
to
No, it's
chat as
fine.
well.
It's fine.
He's been
I could-
unprofessional. You're being too kind to him, Aiko.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. That was extremely rude.
Maybe he deserves more lashings.
I
No,
think so.
please, no!
so.
Come on, guys! Wait, no, come on! Guys, no! Ow! Fuck, ow! Shit,
Take
ow!
that.
Wait, bow!
That's what
That's so
you
rude,
get.
yeah.
For having a
Get him.
smart
Ow.
mouth.
No! Ow.
Yeah, that's what he gets, dude.
You, are you
Take
gonna clean
that.
that?
What?
You gonna clean that?
Clean
Blood?
what?
It's covered in slime, dude.
Ew.
What did you expect? You can't shove things in people and expect it to come out dry.
Oh.
Yeah. No salt!
Hmm.
No salt! No salt! No salt!
Oh no. Oh, that's what those are. Hmm.
Oh
Salt's
yeah,
now,
sorry,
dude.
yeah, there's a... I'm not popular in my community, okay? Alright.
He's not learned his lesson.
Anyone...
Is this why
Absolutely
you started a cult and tried to murder everyone?
Yeah.
Well,
Bitterness.
really, they were following Wiz and I got jealous, so I decided to...
He's like, how do I make this about me? I'm like, I've made a channel that's about
Yeah.
us. Two of us are in the logo. It's just beautiful. And he was like, this isn't about me.
Yeah, and then the cult was like, where's Wiz? Where's Wiz? We want Wiz. Where's Wiz watches on Wednesdays, on
And then I
Thursdays?
said,
And I was
I'll
like,
just
"It's
wait.
me,
I'll
it's
just
me,
wait.
it's
And it
me."
all comes crashing down and burning on him, you know? He gets cancelled. I walk away with the prize.
Yeah. Very harsh. Stop salting me! Stop it!
They're assaulting
Fuckers,
you.
stop!
Oh no.
They're literally assaulting me.
Yeah.
It hurts. Ed, not you two! Alright, these fuckers. See? Now you're paying attention to chat. Sorry, you were saying, Aiko, before I rudely interrupted you. There will be slop today, don't worry.
I don't remember.
That's good, because that means that I can't possibly lose. Yay! Should we watch Epstein?
Yeah, we can watch
Sure.
Epstein. A little bit Epstein.
Woo!
I love watching Epstein.